You guys know that if I film a recipe and I taste it and I don't like it, I'm not going to post it. I wouldn't post anything that didn't taste amazing. But of course, I play favorites just like everyone else. Like, there are some recipes on my channel that I like more than others. There are a select few, in fact, that are just absolutely amazing. And after I was done filming them, I thought to myself, this is going to be a hit. And I proceeded to eat the whole batch or the whole thing in front of me. These 3 recipes are like the it girl in school. Like, they are the moment. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Amanda, aka FitFoodAE, and today I'm going to share with you 3 of my favorite recipes from this channel, aka the best high protein, low calorie recipes on the internet, in my opinion. So if you're excited to see me make these recipes, please give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel, and I post new videos every week. And with that, let's get started. The first recipe that we're going to be going over are my 50-calorie chocolate chip protein cookies. Now, when I posted this recipe back in April 2023, I put in the caption, if you try one recipe on my channel, let it be this. And it's just, that caption was just so right. These cookies are so good that every time I make them, I eat them in like 1 to 2 days. Even if I'm supposed to be eating real food for lunch or dinner, I will just eat these cookies instead. And I encourage you to do that, if it's that type of day. Now, these cookies may be small, but they really pack a punch, and the macros are really, really good. Now, when you're making this dough, it may seem like there are a lot of chocolate chips. So obviously, if you prefer things to be less sweet, then don't add as many. But I personally think you should add as many chocolate chips as your heart desires. And of course, like any other one of my recipes we make that has protein powder, we are using Pea Science. This is a whey casein blend. I used Cake Pop for this recipe. You can also use French vanilla, or you could use any other protein you have on hand if you don't have Pea Science. But if you do want to purchase this, please use my discount code FIT15. Now, before you take out the baking tray and line it with parchment paper, you're going to want to store the dough in the fridge for like 30 minutes to an hour. This is so it doesn't spread out as much when it's baking. But between you and me, if you're in a rush and you don't have time to do that, I have made this recipe where I've just put the dough in the oven without storing it in the fridge, and it'll be just fine. The dough will just spread out a bit more when baking. The bake time in the video, please trust me and go with that bake time, because you're going to look at the cookies, you're going to see that they're still soft in the oven after like 6-7 minutes, and then you're going to want to bake them for longer. But don't do that, because cookies do this thing where they continue to bake after you take them out of the oven. So let them cool for like 10 plus minutes or so, and they're going to be more firm and easier to eat. Trust me on that. If you don't eat all these cookies in one sitting, then they actually store really well in the fridge. In my opinion, they actually taste better out of the fridge when they're kind of cold. Or another idea is you can put them in the air fryer. I wish I had a batch of these cookies in front of me. They are so good. You guys are going to love this recipe. So I want to give myself credit where it's due for this next recipe, the 400-calorie single serving chocolate cake. This is one of my best performing recipes on YouTube. It went, I don't even know if you can call that viral for my small channel, but this is definitely one of my favorite recipes, and it's also one of the first recipes that I made for YouTube a while back. For this recipe, I used Pea Science, of course, but I actually used the chocolate truffle flavor the most recent time I made it. But I think the very first time I made it, I used frosted chocolate cupcake. Either way, use whatever chocolate protein powder you have on hand. So for this recipe, you're going to need a 4.5-inch mini springform pan. You can purchase it on Amazon. I actually have it in my store. The link to buy it is in my description. When you're pouring the batter in the springform pan, make sure to do 2 things. So number 1, spray it with cooking spray, otherwise it's going to stick. And number 2, make sure to level out the batter with a knife so that the cake is just easier to frost, so there isn't like a mountain in there. Of course, when you bake the cake, make sure to stick a fork through the middle to make sure it's clean, because obviously the bake time can vary. So for the frosting, this recipe uses Lakanto powdered sugar substitute. So it's like a 0-calorie powdered sugar version. If you want to purchase from Lakanto, my discount code is FIT15, but you could use whatever you have on hand, or if you don't have any powdered sugar substitute, you can use the real thing. Now guys, very important tip for this recipe. Make sure the cake is fully cooled before frosting. Otherwise, the Greek yogurt frosting is just gonna melt and it's not gonna frost very well. And when you're frosting, guys, I'm like no Betty Crocker. I usually just like use a spoon to put the frosting on top and then use a butter knife to go around. Anyways, top it with some mini chocolate chips, slice it into 4 pieces, and then you're done. I mean, you don't even have to slice it into 4 pieces. You could just use a fork and just eat it one by one. It is a single serving recipe after all. Now, a lot of you probably clicked on this video to see the cookies or the cake and were wondering like, what the heck is that last thing? Well, let me tell you, it is a brookie in a skillet. Now, what is a brookie, you may ask? Well, it's a cross between a brownie and a cookie, aka 2 of my favorite desserts. And that's why it's one of the favorite recipes I have on my channel, because it's literally a cross between 2 absolutely amazing desserts. Now, obviously, this requires a bit more work. Well, it's not even work. Like, this recipe is pretty easy to make, but you have to make like the brownie batter and the cookie dough separately, but it's well worth it, guys. So for this recipe, you're gonna need a 6.5-inch mini cast iron skillet. The link to purchase that is in my Amazon store, so you can check that out in the description. But if you don't have one of those, you could probably just make this in like a ramekin. Make sure to spray with cooking spray before pouring the batter in, otherwise it's gonna stick. Comment below and tell me which layer is your favorite, the cookie layer or the brownie layer. Personally, in this recipe, I am a sucker for the cookie layer. Let me know what you guys think of the brookie, if you love it, if you hate it, if you've even heard of it before this. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this brookie skillet because I sure would if it was in front of me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, I'm sure you love desserts and are looking for more high protein, low calorie dessert recipes. So I'm gonna link a couple more videos that you should watch next on the screen. And please give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel and I post new videos every week. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye.